The following part will be an assignment, which is especially focused on the digital operative procurement process part explained before, but it's also quite interesting to use by the previous lecture on strategic sourcing. This assignment can be used as an individual assignment by home study, but you can also use it into a classroom environment in order to facilitate a group discussion and deep dive into the idea of how technology is changing the communication or the working environment and processes between buyers and suppliers. In this assignment, I will bring closer to you the idea of Industry 4.0 in the sense on how we are moving to maybe closely coupled supply chains or loosely coupled market structures. When we look into Industry 4.0, we especially focus on technology and how technology is impacting the economy. When we look into economy, we can formulate different kinds of hypotheses. For example, the availability of cyber-physical systems will lead to the fact of a digital marketplace where we have a real-life communication based on sensor data, but also then in a digital environment. Or we can say that, for example, the presence of 3D printing will lead to higher mass customization of products. So the idea is that each technology or the pacemaking technology will influence a different hypothesis of the economy. In the following, after the economy will change, we also see implications for society, for example, circular economy, or digital working places. And at the end, we'll have a huge impact on the humans that we have, where we see, for example, technology-enabled workers, self-organized, continuously learning, or different kinds of T-shaped talents instead of silo thinking. But let's turn to the assignment itself. When we look into extreme cases, we can have two extremes within purchasing and supply management, especially looking at technology side. On the one side, we would look into open marketplaces where we see open communication between all different kinds of suppliers and the announcement of buying activity via a marketplace. On the right side, we will see a scenario of a closely coupled supply chain. I will deep dive a little bit further into those two scenarios. So the marketplace scenario would be something like a machine-to-machine communication where orders are announced in the marketplace and also orders are carried out within the marketplace. Orders may be chosen based on electronic marketplaces or the communication between different AI systems or RPA systems. So somebody is asking for a product in that marketplace, so he puts out a digital order into that marketplace, and the suppliers on the other receiving end can connect to this order and give their opinion, or if they want to state a price for that specific order, or maybe they request further information on that order, but they basically can communicate via that marketplace. We could call it maybe the .com time 2.0. The interesting idea is, of course, we have multiple sources to buy a product because we can approach all suppliers on the marketplace, and the communication and bidding process is, for example, facilitated via that marketplace. On the other side, we would look more into technologies like blockchain technology, where we form a close connection between two organizations. So there's a machine-to-machine communication based, for example, on blockchain technology. It carries out orders, but it has fixed standards, and complex supply chain software are installed for instant rely on blockchain technology. So there is only a communication between the buying company and an existing supplier. So in the case that there is a new order coming, we would approach the suppliers within our blockchain to state or ask for a request for quotation, for example, or a price for this kind of product. The interesting or the more relevant part here is we focus more on a single source environment where we are moving, for example, expected future sales into the communication of the blockchain, and the supplier can anticipate on this. Now, the question to you, or the question to the class: which scenario 1, the marketplace, the digital marketplace, or scenario 2, close closely coupled supply chain will be dominant in the future when we look into technology development. So what do you think? What is a more dominant scenario in the future, the marketplace or the chain? At this moment, I want you to reflect on the most likely scenario, but also think about any conditions. What about costs? In what kind of scenario are the costs lower? Why are costs lower? So why are maybe the costs in the market scenario lower? Why are the costs in the supply chain scenario lower? What are the benefits of the different scenario? What are the benefits of the chain? What are the benefits of the marketplace? And by conditions, we can focus on, okay, what would we need in order to facilitate this? So think or make your own mind about this. I will be quiet for a moment and then I will dive more into the solution. So if you want to do this as a group exercise, please stop the video now. Let's dive into the solution a little bit. So I will not perform a full solution to this assignment, but give you an idea. So in case you're studying at home, you will be able to digest the information. So the solution could be that we say that both scenarios would be present. So we will have a marketplace and a supply chain, but with different kind of suppliers being in the one or the other. So we have some suppliers we treat more in the marketplace environment, and we have some suppliers we treat more in the supply chain environment. Of course, that would be connected to some logic. And the logic would be something like a product portfolio.